in the book of Psalm 133, it says, how sweet, how pleasant it is for people to live together in unity, that is in harmony. It is the mind of God that everybody should work together and agree to pursue a goal that has direct impact, positive impact in the life of people. So when we are looking at Nigeria, Nigeria represents, that's why they say a united nation. Nigeria represents what we can call unity because of our diverse culture, diverse religion, diverse ethnicity, and diverse even in terms of our intellect and our background. So when all these things comes together and then you are able to now use them, unity has to do with also color, race. When you have different colors, you are white, you are brown, you are this, you all of you come together for a common purpose of advancing a common cause that will have direct benefit to mankind, or to mankind, and that is what we can call unity, and which is godly. Someone who can work harmoniously with his neighbor, somebody who can work harmoniously with somebody that is not from your family, that is not from your tribe, then is someone that I can say is a
culture and interest for a common goal and purpose. What I mean by this is you are to adopt some ideas and adapt by some cultures because you want to promote a unified goal, a common goal that each and every one is pursuing that goal. For instance, from the context of Nigeria, if we want to have that sense of unity, we must be flexible of our own ideas and agree to adapt some ideas from other people and be flexible to our own culture so that we can adopt some culture and accommodate differences so that we can now build that goal, which is that project called Nigeria. But if we can't be flexible, if we promote rigid ideology and not agree to accept your own perspective, then there wouldn't be a unity, because I have to respect your perspective, I have to respect your emotion and build a kind of empathy which will help me in becoming so close to you, and that unity and harmony will be promoted.
That unity from the two angle now is having a common goal and being pursued by everybody, but with different gifts and different components of each of the groups. But it does not mean we are the same thing, that we are uniform. But it is whatever you have, whomever you are, to pursue a particular goal based on what you have as a particular group of people. Well, I think there's another thing that is also related here, which you can describe as national cohesion. Yes, we can be united and not coherent and not cohesive enough so that we be able to promote these things which we actually want to promote. We might not come together sincerely. That is cohesion now. Is it related now?
Okay, we are talking of national cohesion. So that I think is similar. It's very closely related to unity. By the time we bring all our ideas together, all our talents together, the resources together. You see, you don't discriminate. His resources might not be as much as I have. His potentials might not be as my own potentials. But when we bring them together and then use them for in a very cohesive manner, that is in a very coordinated manner, in such a way that everybody now, nobody will now see that resource as his own. Because once you put it on the table, it becomes mine, it becomes yours for the purpose of advancing the cause of humanity. Unity is opposed to individualism. You see, when you want to begin to promote your individual instincts above the general interest, that is not unity. So what we are trying to say now is that you bring together all those things, and then not minding who is contributing what. He might be contributing more than I am contributing. You might be contributing more than what I'm contributing. But what you are contributing is also very significant. No matter how insignificant it looks, but it is also significant. Because you might have the natural resources and you don't have the human resources. If you have, for instance, you have oil and you do not have brain that can translate that oil into wealth, you may not get that, but you may get the brain in you. So you will come to my place and help me to translate my resource into wealth. While you do that, once it becomes wealth, how do I manage wealth? The wisdom to manage wealth might be with him. So he will now come, he will bring his own wherewithal to now help in managing the wealth. So when you bring all this together cohesively, you will see that results will be easily achieved or attained rather than going alone. I know in the course of this discussion, we are still going to dwell in this separatist tendency, which does not in any way promote unity. Thank you.
Imam.
Well, there are two components that we must be using in trying to build national cohesion. The first component is social awareness. We must be aware of the importance of social being. And the second one is social intelligence. We must have the ability to manage our social being. And that can be done when we understand the danger of separation. That we become powerful when we are together. And we manage our resources very well when we become together. And we enjoy our power, our togetherness, when we are aware of the importance of unity and social being. By nature, man is a social animal.
Definitely.
We cannot, he can never live in isolation of himself. I need you to enjoy this program, to benefit from the program, or to benefit other people from with the program. So we must be aware of this before we build this. And one important thing about this is to understand that there is wisdom in the differences we have. The Almighty created us with different kind of colors, different kind of abilities, different kind of potentials, so that we can come together and tap from the potentials we have for the common use of the society. And that is the meaning of Inna kalakanakum min dhakarin. We have created you from single man and woman so that you will understand one another.
Now, I want to use the football match as a good example of where we are driving at. if the players are not or do not exhibit spirit of unity, no team will be able to win any match. The backman, the defender, the central defender, the central attacker, the attacker, they are interconnected. And if the defender refuses to supply ball to the striker will not score. So if they are disunited, if any team is disunited, there is no way they can win a match. And that is exactly what we are trying to bring to bear in our nation, Nigeria. When we are talking of unity is very, very essential, very, very important in moving our country forward. Some people argue and say Nigeria is a mere geographical expression, that the amalgamation of 1914 was a mistake. I don't agree. I don't subscribe to that. I believe our amalgamation is never a mistake. The colonial masters who in their own wisdom felt the North, the South should be merged, they saw something in Nigeria. Otherwise, if at that time they felt West is sufficient to stay alone, there would not have been need for them to go to the North. Azikiwe was born, I think, in 1901 or 1902, thereabout. In Zungeru, in the North, Niger State. An Igbo man born in the North. What did he go to Niger State to do at that time? It was before amalgamation. It was before our independence. It means there was something that the Southerners saw in the North that they went there to be, and vice versa. The Northerners also come to the
first mayor of Onitsha is from Sokoto. Was from Sokoto. Okay. I think 1947, 1957. So the first mayor.
So my point is that there must be something that is really uniting Nigeria before. I don't believe that those who are who amalgamated Nigeria,
Lord Lugard.
I don't believe that Lord Lugard just came up with that idea that I want to amalgamate. He has seen that cohesion. He has seen the interrelationship between the North and the South. He saw it on ground. He came and met it on ground, and he decided to say, no, the better he brings them together properly, administratively, under a government, then they will both all enjoy themselves better. So Nigeria amalgamation, I don't think, is a mistake. It is for a purpose, and you see, the more number we have, population is a strength. Yeah. So the more number you have, the more strength you have to really achieve greatly.
And if we look at two things, we will agree that our coming together was a divine decision from the Almighty. Mm-hmm. Look at the South and the West. If you go anywhere, you find the presence of Hausas or the Northerners in the South and in the West before the amalgamation. Yeah. And secondly, if we look at the way we pray, we pray in congregations, in the churches and the mosques. What is the wisdom in coming together to pray to Almighty? I can pray alone in my home, and you can do so in your home. But it is divinely designed that we must come together and pray together. And we have resources that you can scarcely have them in the other part of the country except the other part.
Exactly.
And we need that resources there, but they don't have it. So by coming together, by sharing the resources together, we now feel national cohesion and become one so that we can help one another.
Before we go on a break, I'll use the analogy of a kola nut. We might not know that kola nut is a special plant God has given to us in this country, that it is important to each of the agitating tribes because it's being planted by the Yorubas, it's being eaten by the Northerners, and it's being celebrated by the Igbos. So it means we have to look at Kola and beginning to think of what are we going to do. But before we talk about Kola, it will be when we come back from this short break, we now look at it and see what can we learn from Kola nuts.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Yeah, welcome back. We have been discussing unity, national choir, and faith. You can be part of this program by sending your message to 070-449-44949. Bishop, we have talked briefly about kola nuts, but we now see people being agitated now. The north, the south, the east, the west, the central, the south-south, the southeast, the southwest, the north, all of us, we want to. Where did we get here, or why are we doing this? Is it godly with this thing which we are now doing?
I don't think, you see, why we are here is because of bad governance. I believe, just like the narrative I gave earlier, Nigerians have been living together even before the amalgamation. Nigeria have been living together after amalgamation, and Nigeria continue to live together during independence and after independence. So the issue of us living together is a settled issue. Now the problem now, why we are seeing these ethnic champions that are trying to now agitate for independence, is not the reason is not far-fetched. It is simply because of bad governance. The moment
is it only bad governance?
Bad governance, corruption. You know, bad governance is a product of corruption is a product of bad governance. So once we have a very good administrators, those who will administer Nigeria in a proper way, all those agitations will go down. The truth of the matter is that we have come a very long way to live together, and we still want to live together. We intermarry. And we do all sorts of things in terms of education. I have some family, some relatives that are all they know about their life is the north. They speak Hausa like an Hausa man. And if you tell them to now go back to the south now, they don't even know where to go. So you see, we have been fused together, and we have been together, and we still want to be together. All we need to do is those who are managing the affairs of this nation should, I think, have a new orientation about governance, and then before you know it, this problem, like I said at the last program, that every problem of Nigeria is artificial. Just like, let me just conclude this thing by saying this. This last week, there was a news, I was in my car, I was listening to a radio, and that person said in Lagos, they kill about more than 1,000 cows per day. Then I now called upon the person who is beside me. I said, can you see how benevolent God is? If they kill over 1,000 cows a day in Lagos alone, how many do they kill in Oyo and all the states of the
and
federation? And yet, we have never heard of scarcity of cows. They also slaughter chickens We have never heard of scarcity of chickens. We drink water, water never finish. All these things that God has provided for mankind, we have them in abundance. Then why scarcity? Why unemployment? Why all this? So they are all artificial, and these are things that are leading to unnecessary agitation. I want to be alone. We want a Yoruba nation. We want a Arewa nation. They are all just artificial. And I believe it is something very easy to douse them and then to solve the problems.
I know you want to say something on what you have said, but what would be your opinion about the politicization of this agitation?
Well, that is exactly what I want to say.
Good.
I want to suggest that there are two other factors added to the one he has mentioned.
Okay. You say bad governance, corruption. That is the one he mentioned.
There is marginalization.
Okay.
When people are really marginalized, they are not included in the governance of their affairs. They will now feel marginalized and they will start agitating for anything. Secondly, when we have bad politicking, when the politicking of a country is not properly managed, people want to get there. People want to remain there. People want to be there forever. Now they will have no machineries to use other than that kind of agitation.
Okay. Where we want to go now we have known that we have a problem.
Yeah.
But what do we do? But before I go to it, I will start with you with what are we going to do. Let me read the message that is scratching my brain, and I love the message. It said, "Good evening, sirs. I'm really excited watching this program. It is just like gathering near the TV to watch Eagles play a world match. It is a must-watch for every Nigerian that has the unity of Nigeria as a priority. Emmanuel Ogbu from Lagos." I don't know that you get what he's saying. That listening to this is like watching Super Eagles. I don't know whether you have gotten such an emotion before. When you watch Super Eagles, your system changes. You have joy inside you. So things are now changing. At what point, what are we going to do now to continue to have this kind of feelings as a Nigerian?
And spirit.
Well, it is high time to change our emotion, to have a kind of emotional intelligence, so that we can understand how to control our anger and our quest for power. You know, people are now looking for power at all costs. They are ready to destroy half of the nation so that they will become in the presidency. They want to go to the presidency at all costs. And where we got it wrong is the lack of true patriotism and statesmanship. If you are not a true patriotic Nigerian, you will think that even if half of Nigeria will die, you must be there. But if you are a good patriotic Nigerian, you will understand that for you to get there, even one person you don't want, even one Nigerian, you don't want him to die because of you going there. Until when we start getting it that way, we will never understand the importance of coming together, the importance of unity, the importance of national cohesion. We have to understand that we are all important. No Nigerian is more important than the other. We are all human beings. We must share equal rights. There are rights that were given to us by the Almighty and were ascribed in our Constitution. And in as much as we don't respect that rights as given to us by the Almighty, who said he has honored human beings, in as much as the laws that are signed by Nigeria in the United Nations are not respected, just because I want to become a politician or I want to be a governor or a representative of the people, I will use my language or my community to destroy the national unity so that I will be there. I think that is where we got it wrong.
Okay. You've not told us what is in the Quran or in your book, what God has said about being disunited. Before you start talking about that, I'll come to Bishop. What do we do?
Well, what we need to do is to, like I said, to have a change of mind, because God has given us everything in abundance. God has given us intellect. God has distributed all the wealth of Nigeria to us in various ways and in every community in Nigeria. We can get the best brain from any tribe and then bring them on the table to move this country forward. I think if we really want to douse these agitations of these ethnic agitations, the moment those who are in authority begin to see things differently and begin to know that if God is not selfish to us, if God is not partial to us, and we say we are religious, we are godly people, then we also should exhibit the trace of God in leadership, in governance. When we bring God, we see God, what we practice. We are in Ramadan, for instance, now. We are in a Lenten season. I will say Lenten fasting period. What are you now? After this Ramadan, I expect that Nigeria will have a new leaf. We have born again.
Yes.
Nigerians. But it will surprise you that after Ramadan, they will say they have asked for forgiveness. God has forgiven all their sins. Then they will now go back again. They will start a new chapter of sin. I don't want us to do that. Let this Ramadan actually purge us, especially both ordinary Nigerians and the leadership. Let this Ramadan purge us.
I like what the bishop is saying.
Purge us from all this, our mentality
Let me
of
tell
greed.
them, if they don't know what Quran has told them, let me tell them. I like
this mentality of greed and selfishness, which is not part of God.
No, which Ramadan has taught all of us.
And then the lesson of Ramadan, the lesson of Ramadan, I think we want to see it as from next week.
Yes.
Salah is next week now.
By God's grace.
We want to see the lesson of Ramadan manifest in both the high, the middle, and the low in the society.
Bishop, let me help you before you. When a child comes from a very good family and is doing things in contrary to what they used to do in that family, how do you describe such a child? Okay, let me help. Bastard, simple.
Bastard.
So it means any Muslim after this fasting the month of Ramadan is not doing the right thing. I don't know the name we call Bishop. No, I will not say it.
Well, I think one of the most important part of the lessons of Ramadan is that you have to control even the information you receive. That is a kind of information management was given as a lesson of Ramadan. What I mean by this is the hadith, that is the tradition of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, been recorded in the book of Bukhari and
Book of Bukhari.
Book of Bukhari, yeah, Bukhari. One of the scholars, his name is Bukhari.
Oh, I thought it's
not Boko Haram.
No, that's our president's name.
No, not. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, not our president. Been reported, transmitted by Abu Huraira. He said that whoever does not desist from false statements or acting on false statements, the Almighty is not in need for him to stop consuming his food and drinks. So you can see that even our statement is to be reformed. The way we talk, and the way we receive information is supposed to be reformed during Ramadan. Coming to why we shouldn't be disunited. We look at the Quran in chapter 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the hypocrites unite themselves. And you, if you don't do that, there will be a serious calamity on earth.
Okay.
And that is to say, some hypocrites who want to destroy Nigeria united themselves in the idea of destroying Nigeria.
Okay.
If we, the Nigerians, did not unite ourselves and have the idea of national cohesion, then there will be a serious calamity in our land.
Okay, now, let's now come back to you now. You are talking of what people should do. You as religious leaders, what are you doing now to unite us as a nation?
I think what we are doing, we have nothing else to do than to mount the pulpit and preach morality, preach sincerity, preach honesty, preach love to our Nigerians, in order that we all will have to live together in unity, and to also see that we belong to the same family, and that is the family of God.
Okay. What are you doing as Muslim to unite us as a nation?
Well, the first thing to do,
not to do that you are doing.
The first thing that one of the important things that I am doing, I'm always sending message, a strong message. For instance, the theme of my tafsir of this year, Ramadan period, is religion, morality, and emotional intelligence. I try to bring the three together to tell people that you will become irreligious if you have no morality. And to have morality, you need to know how to control your emotion. What is happening to us in Nigeria is we are acting according to our own emotions.
Okay.
And we don't know how to control our emotions. One of the ways to control your emotion is to have the skill of empathy by putting yourself into my shoes. Understand, why am I angry? For instance, take an example. If I slap you and I ask you, why are you angry with me? This is irrational. I know why you are angry. I slapped you. You must be angry. So for me now to make you feel comfortable is not to slap you, not to abuse you, not to do wrong to you. This is part of the things that we are doing, and that is why we are here. Just mere seeing me together with the
Bishop.
Reverend, the Bishop, people will now have a message in their mind. But by me going to my mosque and discriminating Christianity or the Christians, I am sending a bad message to the people.
Okay.
That is why...
But,
yeah.
That is why what? Just one word.
That is why the Imam invited his Grace Cardinal Onaikan this year to his mosque to give people...
Not Onaikan, the governor of Plateau State.
You see?
Cardinal Onaikan.
Do you think that message is not very strong?
It's very strong.
It's very strong message. I started it before, but I stopped it.
Why?
Due to some reason.
What are those reasons? Okay, no problem. I know you will tell us those reasons. But to me, I'm still not convinced with the efforts of religious, because most of you are not sincere. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
You
will
right.
say something in public, you do another thing behind the scene.
Yes.
How do we solve this thing? But unfortunately, our time
I think those who are listening to us now should also learn to take up their religious leaders in their various
churches and mosques,
religious houses. When you get home, when you get to the church or you get to the mosque, and something else is being preached to you about the other religion, take him up and say, no. I listen to Abrahamic religion, and they said these two religions especially are from God. And so why should we now discriminate ourselves? I think they have a role to play in curbing some of the excesses of some of us.
I'm happy to hear this. Imam, did you hear what he said?
I did.
What do we do?
We're supposed to at least be sincere to ourselves and agree that we are all product of one Lord. He created us not out of a mistake. He consciously and intentionally created us and gave us the ability to be in different faiths so that the beauty of the light will be, the brilliance of the light will be clear in the darkness.
Okay.
So if you believe that your religion is the light, then you will be happy to see the darkness so that the brilliance of your religion will be clear to everyone.
Wow, this is a good one. We thank you for being here. And what we have learned today is that God, if He decided to make us the same thing, that either one religion or one tribe, He will have done that if He so wish. But we believe that is not God's wish, that we should be one religion or one tribe or one color or one anything, that He created us diversely so that we will actually appreciate ourselves. We will be able to describe whom we are. But those who are agitating for this, I think we should be careful that the essence of this might actually be more than what we are bargaining for. What I mean here is, if you think because you want to solve a particular problem, it will create a greater problem when you get there. Why don't we move together? Why don't you allow us to do things together? Perhaps God will help us until when we meet next week, when we continue this discussion or a new one. I want to thank you very much for coming, the Bishop and the Imam. But when we meet next week, inshallah, probably we'll come and do something better. My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, saying bye-bye.